Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Impact and Income with Misty. And I am here with yet another amazing healer and coach in the world. Her name is Jenni Journey, and she is a pregnancy loss coach and Reiki master. I'm Reiki 1. I'm not a master. I have Reiki 1. So I have, I have the initiation course that they're me, but I don't have mastery level, which is very cool. So welcome, Jenni. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm glad.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be on and to be chatting with you today and all of your listeners.
Awesome.
And also totally cool that you're Reiki level 1. I mean, your vibrations are already raised that higher. Maybe that's why you and I jazzed right away.
I know, right? Maybe that's true. I love that. That's probably true. I meet and connect with people on all the social medias, and Jenni and I connected. I think you're in my group also.
Facebook, yeah.
Randomly, yeah. And which is wonderful. Heart-centered entrepreneurs making impact and income. And but we connected, and she started talking about what she did, and I was like, oh, we have to talk more. And we just had so much fun connecting that I was like, I gotta interview you. So thank you for being here. I'm honored you jumped on with me. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, I can talk to pretty much a brick wall about body connection and self-love. And so to be able to talk to somebody else is great.
That's amazing. So how did you become, I've seen pregnancy loss coaching out there. It's, it floats around. It's not a huge thing you hear about, but I feel like it's such, how did you get into this work for yourself? How did you know I have to do this? What was your path into coaching and how this all happened for you?
Yeah, as most people, my path to coming here was out of personal experience. I have had 2 ectopic pregnancies, which is where the embryo actually implants in your fallopian tube. It can't survive there. The mother cannot survive with it there. So it ended up in both times having to be rushed into emergency surgery, getting my tube removed, and then the kind of what are you left with afterwards, because you just did experience a baby loss, and in a very traumatic way of we don't get you into surgery in the next 30 minutes, you're going to die. What? And so I struggled with everything afterwards. I struggled with losing my baby because I really wanted to be pregnant. It was a very wanted pregnancy for my husband and I. And I just went into this deep, dark hole. And after about a month, my family felt uncomfortable continuing the conversation and talking about it. 2 months, my friends were at the point where they felt uncomfortable, but yet it was all I ever thought about. So I needed to keep talking and to be able to express all the stuff I was going through, and found a community on Instagram of other women who've gone through it and realized, wow, I'm able to, just by sharing my experience, help other women get through theirs. And that's what ultimately, I always say, my babies led me to my purpose, because without them, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be at this point. It's been 2 years since my last loss. And so 2 years out, and I'm able to now bring pretty much, just what I learned to help other women who may have just gone through it the past month or week or year.
Wow, that is so beautiful. And, we have women now, we're starting to get pregnant later than we have before. Our fertility is just so different than it used to be a couple hundred years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think because of where we are, as a society right now, it is starting to become okay to talk about loss. But there's still a timestamp on when it's okay to talk about it. And in some cultures, I was on Clubhouse this morning, which I've just kind of gotten into, but I was on Clubhouse this morning. Somebody from Nigeria was talking about how it's just so taboo there still, and do not talk about it. It's a so hush hush thing. And so it's different all over the world, wherever you are. And so as we're starting to maybe just crack open that shell a little bit and talk about it, I think it's so important to have your story heard, and to be able to let somebody else witness what you went through and validate your feelings. It speaks mountains when you can do that.
Wow, that is incredible. How long have you been doing this work now?
I felt the little whisper on my heart about a year and a half ago. And so I started to make those first like baby steps into entrepreneurship, becoming a coach, figuring out what I wanted to do. So I launched my business last August. So I'm still in my first year.
Oh, that's amazing. This is such a good time too. Wow. I'm so excited for you. And, one of the things that Jenny and I were talking about yesterday is this sort of mind-body connection and how that, one, I have to assume that connection, increasing that connection between mind and body just for the process of healing, period. No matter what you're trying to heal, loss
Yes.
or,
Any type of grief.
any type of grief or trauma. Talk more about that, because you're a Reiki master, you know a lot about this. So let's talk about that a little bit. How does that assist you in your process and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that body connection, it is for any trauma, any grief that you've gone through. So whether it's a pregnancy loss or the loss of a family member, the loss of a job, the loss of a dream that you thought you were going to get to have, like there is a wide range of things that fall under grief and trauma.
Yeah.
And so often, what I found was I put my body in the corner. I was like, you did me wrong. Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And so I physically separated my mind from my body because I didn't want anything to do with it because it let me down. Right.
Yeah.
And that didn't feel comfortable. That wasn't the way to live. Like, it was almost worse because then I was going through life in this one body I have, hating it. And so really it was through that, going to the extreme and putting my body in a corner, that I started to realize, okay, wait, I think there's something more here. And I didn't realize how wise my body was and how actually it was telling me leading up to it that certain things weren't running right. I wasn't listening because I put it in a corner. And so I made the choice to say, okay, how can I like start to bridge this relationship and bring it together? And that came slowly but surely, these little steps of, okay, I'm going to take a conscious breath and just feel my chest rise and then feel my chest fall. And how did it feel as I went to the breath with my body? And so it was like literally starting out super small of just like, okay, I'm breathing. Yes, I feel that I'm breathing. Okay, I'm taking a foot forward. I'm taking a foot forward as I'm walking. How does that feel? And so it very slowly but surely, I realized my body was giving me these signs. It tells me when I need to go to the bathroom. Ding, ding, ding. Hello, you need to pee. When I'm about to get sick, it tells me that, so it's so fun now coming in and listening to my body. And then when I have to go make a big decision, especially in my business, first year of business, you make so many decisions and you don't know what you're doing, but yet you know what you're doing, but yet you don't. And so really using my body as like my compass, it is my tool and my one point of truth. No matter what is going on, my body's telling me truth. And so I've really learned how to connect with my body. And that's what I help other women do as well. It's like, it's so powerful for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much information there. Okay. So one of the reasons, I mean, besides the beautiful work that you do and you're building a business around your purpose, is that you talked about entrepreneurship and like the signs we get from our body, even around this, our business, which isn't, I love bringing the spiritual, the energetic, the physical into our businesses to support it. I think that when you're working to get into consistent and regular income in your business, which is what I support people to do on a regular basis, then having that information you get from all of your centers, your energy, your physicality, your emotions is so essential. Where do you find in your business that you are engaging that connection consciously, do you think?
Yeah, right now I'm making so many decisions. So, it's like, oh, well, do I join this mastermind or do I go on this Clubhouse, room, or even like the little things of, do I change my website? Do I change this color, or is my wording wrong? Like, it can be very little. And I find that what I do for all these decisions that I'm constantly having to make is to just pause. I take a deep breath, and my body will either lean into it or back away from it. Like, there is a physical movement from my gut that is either urging me forward as saying yes, or it's like just slightly back, like no.
Interesting.
Most of us have this. It's most people. I mean, we could totally get into human design too, which I'm just starting to dabble in.
Me too.
Are you into it?
It has so many applications to how you manage business and the energy around it. I'm actually doing I'm doing a business demystified on it on the 22nd.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm not an expert.
I'm not an expert either.
I've been studying how each type engages in business differently, and how we can sort of, that's what I'm doing it around.
Yes.
But oh my God, tell me about I want to hear, I love human design. What are you?
Me too. I'm a manifesting generator.
Nice. My sister is a manifesting generator.
Okay. Yes. Hey to the MGs out there.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah. But then you have your authority, right? And so some part of your authority, I'm going to get this statistic wrong, so I'm not even going to say it, but there's a certain percentage of people, man, female, whoever, who their authority is in their sacral center, which is the spot just below your belly button. It's what we call like our gut, right? Your intuition. And that part of your body, if you have this authority for you, it physically moves forward or moves back when you ask it something. So if you're just saying, hey, should I have tacos today? And if tacos sounded good, you may have like inched forward. Or if it was like, no, it doesn't actually, no, you may have inched back. So it's a very subtle movement, and you really have to connect.
That is fascinating. I'm like testing it while you're saying that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's that gut check, right? Like there's actual science behind your gut. Just it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Well, where does it not feel right in your body? You can usually pinpoint it.
Yeah, they actually say, I've heard, I'm going to like third hand this. I don't know the study. I think it's from Heart Math Institute. But they say that there are actually more neural cells in your gut than there are in your head.
Yes. Yeah, I know what study you're talking about. Yeah.
I love that. And in your heart, there are a great deal of neural cells, like in your heart. I don't know where.
Your heart chakra is your strongest energy center. So like that's going to be like your chest area, and we actually have it through our front. It goes back and then through the back, which I'm trying to get my hand back there and it's not happening.
I'm like, each year I'm like, it's harder to get back. That's awesome. I know. I'm in the heart. I talk about heart centered all the time. So I'm super into that heart energy. So yes, and that for me is so fascinating to know that no wonder there's gut instinct or, whatever they call it. That's very
Yeah, and it all flows into your energetic field as well. So, we have our aura, which is, about anywhere from 2 to 6 feet around us at all times. And as learning Reiki, and I started to get into Reiki because I used it as a form to heal myself during my like deep dark days after pregnancy loss. And it helped me so much. I was like, I've got to know more. This is great. And since diving into Reiki, then I've, further explored energy healing as a whole, and then further explored energy within our bodies. So these are things we're not taught at a young age. I hope it changes. I'm going to be part of the narrative to change it. Like I want to get this curriculum in elementary schools. So,
that's amazing.
Because it really changes your outlook on maybe just how you live day to day, knowing how the energy you take in, whether it's something you listen to, a conversation you have, something you watch on TV, something you're telling yourself in your head. All of these things they come in and they come out energetically through those vibrations of each one.
So true. I really love what you said around making decisions in your business in this way, because every time I have not listened to that, it's cost me money. Or a lot of frustration or anxiety, whatever. I I was engaging in a project one time. I won't say about what it was, but I was engaging in a project one time, and something inside of me was like, you should not do this. It just was so strong. And I was like, my head was like, no, I want to be in this thing. It's going to be so cool. I'm going to get known. I mean, my head took over, did not listen to myself. And it was a very frustrating process. I lost money around it. The thing I ended up wanting to have, I didn't get. It was just so. Please take what Jenni is saying very seriously when you're into it. And if you're listening to this, you're heart-centered already. You're intuitive. You're empathic. That's why you're following me right now. You're in this energy already. Trust that even in your business. It's so easy for us to look to an outside authority to tell us how to do this. You have to do it this way. It should be done this way. You should. And I will tell you, no matter what, I even say this to my clients, no matter what I tell you or anyone else tells you about your business, always check in with how that feels for you. Always.
Yes. There
is no greater authority than this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So thank you for talking about.
I agree.
Yes. Good. So thank you for talking about that as a powerful way to make decision. Yes. It can be so easy to lose trust in yourself because I don't know how to, I've not been in business or, whatever we tell ourselves that makes us believe that we can't do this thing. So very well said. Thank you. That is so awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're constantly being fed ideas and this worked for this person. This is how I made 6 figures. This is how I built my podcast up, or this is how I became an international speaker. And so that worked for them, but is it going to work for you? Your unique energy, your unique design, how you operate is totally different than how I operate. And so the basic skills here are really just learning, how do you operate? What feels good to you?
Yes.
And if you've never had the opportunity to use that opinion to say, your voice, it can be really hard to then listen to your body. And especially for women, sometimes we're not always given the opportunity to be opinionated. So then when it comes to just listening to our body, we're like, well, I don't even know where to start. So if that is you, or maybe a part of you.
Right. Could be if you're listening. If you find that in any way, please continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. If that is you, I just recommend starting with little things. What do I want to eat today? Do I want to go for a walk outside at a park, or do I want to walk around in my neighborhood? These little things. Do I want to shower and use this shampoo, or should I use my other shampoo that I only use for special occasions? Just very little things, and start to ask yourself that. Get to know what those answers are on the most basic level. If it's cold, do I want to wear 2 layers today or 1 layer? If it's warm, do I want to strip down to my swimsuit, or should I, put some shorts on, very basic things. Start to get your voice comfortable there. And then you'll get a solid foundation with that. So then you can start to then bring that into your business that you're running, bring it into conversations with friends. And then you start to get just more confident in who your voice is and what your truth is.
Yes, agreed. As a recovering people pleaser, it's not always easy to see inside first. You're checking out and around first, around what's going on out here before you decide. And so to have that check be inside first. Woo! Sometimes I still find places because I'm so quick to, have them at such a young age that I'm so quick to do it. Sometimes I'm like, whoa. Well, I didn't even check in right there. I just was like, whatever you want. Whoa, hold on. So, and that I will tell you will not serve you in your business at all. It will cause a great deal of suffering.
Yeah.
So, checking in, even engaging that in small ways. I so love that, Jenny. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's so essential. And a lot of healers and coaches, because we're helpers, we end up in this, and we're empathic. It's so, we have to check and see if, we're okay if everyone else is okay. So it's very easy to be outward focused before you inward focus.
Yeah.
And if you're an entrepreneur trying to get consistent income, we have to flip that.
Yeah, it starts here, like within our walls of our body.
Yeah. So agree. Okay, well, Jenny, thank you so much for joining me today. This was such a, I love it. Such a
yes, me too. I'm like,
conversation.
Anytime you want to talk about body connection, I am here. I literally talk about it all the time.
That's amazing. Okay, so Jenny,
I'm so much for having
me. Oh, of course. I'm going to put the link in the comment box below, but share with people where we can find out more about you, what you're working on right now that the public might be interested in. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram. I'm XO Jenni June. So Jenni June. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm also xojennyjune.com. And I'm currently I'm building a new program that actually launches in April. I'm very excited about. It's a one-on-one coaching program, and we actually go through connecting into your body. So we are learning all about your chakras, your unique design, and it's a 4-month program where we kind of walk through the basics of how do you check into your body, how do you let your body lead, and then ultimately come out of it with a fierce self-love for yourself and the connection back into your divine feminine.
Oh, how juicy, guys. That's amazing.
Gonna be good.
I super love that. So xojennyjune.com. xojennyjune.com. Guys, of course, like, isn't that the most lovely name? Just so pretty.
So great.
Thank you so much for joining me, Jenny. And being courageous and all that stuff. This was such a joy. Thank you.
So fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, if you are in the process of building or creating a business from your heart, then come on over to Heart Centered Entrepreneurs Making Impact and Income. We talk about how to make a powerful impact in the world while also creating income, because for you, those two things are linked together. Okay, so come over and join us. It's a lovely group. Someone called it the safety zone. The safety zone to practice all the things you need to do online to build your business. So please head on over. I would love to have you. Guys, have an amazing day. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye.